Hey there, Streakers. It's pretty late. I have had a couple of late nights in a row, and I got to tell you a little bit of a story that happened to me last night that tested my patience. Let's just put it that way. We'll get to that in just a second. I'm Jeff Downs. This is the Streakin Show, and this is your 8 to 10 minutes of streaking motivation. So last night, I had a late night flight. I was coming back from Newark into Salt Lake City, and it was a 5-hour flight. Now, I knew it was going to be late because we left Newark at 9 o'clock and didn't get into Salt Lake City until midnight. And with a 2-hour time change, that meant that I was basically up on it, almost, let's see, I'm trying to think 20 hours. So I had 4 hours of sleep when I finally got home. Here's the interesting part. I got on the airplane, and on the airplane are seats 1A through seat 38F. Now, I was not in 1A, which is first class. I was in 38F, which is the very last seat on the plane that's right next to the window and does not recline because you've got a wall right behind you. I knew that when I was flying and I didn't have any more status because I wasn't flying as much anymore after COVID and changing a job, I wasn't flying as much, that it would mean that I would be riding in the back of the bus many, many times as I travel throughout the nation, visiting with clients and also some of the people with whom I work. So 38F, got in, sat down, and the plane was loaded. And when I say the plane was loaded, I mean people were coming on and it was loaded to the gills. Every seat was taken. The individual who sat next to me happened to be a broad-shouldered individual. He worked out quite a bit, could tell, and had quite the physique. Well, he and I together, and you have to know that I'm 6'5", and so when I fold into a seat, I am truly folding into a seat. And to be in that seat for 5 hours, I like flying the window seat. I know you may think, oh, he's glutton for punishment. Can't get up, stretch his legs, 6'5", folded into a seat. Maybe glutton for punishment. However, one of the things that I like is just to sit down and stay put. When I sat down, everything was fine. Then this gentleman sat next to me, and he, with his broad shoulders and the way that he was sitting in the middle seat, just had his body in such a way that his elbow was just barely touching into my side. So it wasn't a real hard push, but it was one that you felt. And it was there for 5 hours. Now, I would move and reposition and try the best that I could to reposition in such a way that I was, not having his elbow in my side, but no matter what. And he wasn't doing it maliciously. He, like me, we were all trying to just be comfortable. Then when the guy in front of me leaned back and we can't lean back, that made it for a very tight situation. There were several times where I had to slow down, not think about how tight of a situation that I was in, and breathe. One of the streaks that I have, and talked about quite a bit, is to pray for charity at least one time every day. Pray with all energy of heart for charity at least one time every day. I'll tell you what, sitting in this seat, I was praying for charity, for patience, for love, for understanding, for long-suffering, for gentleness, kindness, meekness, all of the attributes of charity I was praying for. And I was also taking the opportunity to slow myself down. Now, I don't have a meditate streak. There are quite a few people who do. However, I will employ some of the principles of meditation, which happen to be breathing deeply, in and out, focusing your thoughts, your mind, your body, and everything within the moment. Live in the present moment. Not think about all of the different areas I'd rather be. Not think about the congestion or claustrophobia, but really just have an opportunity to settle down, think what it is. Because there were several times where, my heightened senses and what I was feeling, I wanted to just jump out of that seat. There were other times too where I was thinking in my mind, hey buddy, come on, can you give me a break here with the elbow in the side? Again, slowing down, breathing in, praying for charity. That was everything that I was doing. How does this apply? In life, there's going to be times where you have elbows in the side. And it's going to be times when you really don't plan on it or want it. And there's other times where you may see it coming, like, for example, being on an airplane full. I knew that it was going to be tight and packed. But there's other times where you don't know that you're going to get this elbow in your side and you think that people are in your space and that they're doing it maliciously or purposely. One of the things that Jamie says, and I agree with her, is when you have, and I mentioned this on the podcast just a couple of days ago, when you have a 1-year-old or a less than 1-year-old who's crying, they're not doing it to annoy you. They're doing it because they are uncomfortable. They're trying to communicate with you in some way. This is, and they're not malicious. This is what I think about when I was thinking about the gentleman in front of me and the one to the side of me. There was no maliciousness going on. There was nothing that they didn't know who I was, and they weren't trying to purposely get in my space. And there is no space on an airplane. And so taking that into perspective and understanding that for those times in life when you have the elbow in your side or you're in those tight quarters and you have to slow down, take a breath. One of the airline pilots who I listened to, Dieter F. Uchtdorf, who happens to be an elder in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, an apostle, he talks about when you face turbulence as an airline pilot, the tendency or the thought process is to speed up. In other words, get through it quickly. When in actuality, what you need to do is slow down. Slow down and really move through the turbulence rather than trying to skip over it, which is what you might do like a rock skipping across the water if you try to fly through it quickly. That's the same in life. Elbows in the sides, tight spaces. Slow down. Breathe in. Take an opportunity to see life around you. Stephen Covey, in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he talks about carrying your own weather. It may be blustery outside. It may be sunshine or scorching hot. The question is what is the weather that you carry with you? Is the weather you carry a smile on your face? Is it the opportunity to help and serve others? Again, it can be difficult. I'm not taking that away. But what you can do is slow down, breathe in, and take an opportunity to see the goodness around you. That's where a few streaks might help out. For example, one of them, praying for charity. Another, meditating, at least on at least 5 breaths, or on at least a breath, or meditate at least one time daily. Another one could be that you think about at least one positive thing, or allow your thoughts to wash through you. All of those things, you're not going to be able to control the feelings that you have. However, you can choose how you respond to those feelings. There's times when I wake up in the morning where I thought I was going to wake up with a really great and happy mood, and it just didn't work out. But then I have a choice to make as to how I want to respond to those feelings. You have a choice. You can carry your own weather. When you have an elbow poking your side and it's just painful, or it is just annoying and difficult, what you can do is choose to not react to it, but to respond to it. As you do so, you'll find that you gain control with your intentionality and being deliberate. In another podcast, I want to talk to you just a little bit about managing finances deliberately. Jamie and I have used the system for quite some time. We went away for it for a little while, but we're getting back to it, that I want to get into with you. And the reason I bring it up now, as I'm talking about having elbows in your side, is you can do some things in your financial life that help keep elbows out of your side, or that help you to see, understand, and recognize how to move forward in a deliberate and intentional way, which gives you control in your life over the things that you can control. So, when all is said and done, as you look at the tight, constricted spaces that you may be in, or the elbows that may not maliciously be in your side, or even those that may be maliciously in your side, know this: you have the power to control what it is you do and how you react. To learn more about Streaking, download the Streaking app from the Apple App Store or from Google Play, or read the book. The book is available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or anywhere books are sold. You can also download it via Audible, and it is an ebook. If you wouldn't mind going out there, giving us a rating on the podcast or the book or the app, We would appreciate it. Subscribe to the podcast and invite your friends to do the same. Until we talk again, keep streaking.